Hello everyone, I am Dr. Naina Singh, Assistant Professor Sociology from Department of Humanities at Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Today I am going to acquaint you with the topic socialization. The word socialization can mean the process of making social. The act of adapting behavior to the norms of a culture or society is called socialization. When a child is born, it is merely an organism or jiva, and through the process of socialization, it becomes an individual or a social being. The culture that a family, community, and a society inculcates in an individual makes him a manushya, or you can say a human being. The child responds to the forces around it, both human and physical objects. It can be called a process of growing up in a society which a child acquires through its growth in age and is also influenced by cultural norms, traditions, values, different cultural patterns of the group to which it belongs. So in this process of socialization, the child imbibes the cultural patterns, learn to perform its individual and social roles. In this way, the child makes efforts to adjust himself into the social order. Socialization is a comprehensive and endless process which continues throughout the life of an individual. Socialization is a process of owing, adopting and initiating the newborn stage by stage in the family, community and then in the society. This process functions at two different levels. One within the infant himself, which is called internalization of the objects around him, and the other is from outside, that is at the level which includes parents and other family members and peers, etc. So then, socialization is defined as the process of learning in life that directly or indirectly influences the actions, beliefs, and the behavior of a human being. It encompasses the ideologies and norms of society and results in desirable outcomes and social continuity. So, the successful socialization enables people to fit into all kinds of social groups, whether it is primary group or secondary groups. The human infant comes into the world as a biological organism, is governed by instinctive needs. He is gradually molded into a social being and he learns social ways of acting and feeling. Without the process of molding, the society could not continue itself, nor could the culture exist, nor could the individual become a person. Socialization makes it possible for us to fully function as human beings. Without socialization, we could not have a society and culture. This process of molding is called socialization. Every man tries to adjust himself to the conditions and environment predominantly determined by the society of which he is a member. This process of adjustment is also termed as socialization. So then, the socialization prepares people to participate in a social group by teaching them its norms, rules, regulation, and expectations. Socialization is also defined as a process of learning of life that directly or indirectly influences the actions, beliefs, attitudes, and behavior of a human being. So here are certain definitions given by the various sociologists and thinkers. As per E.S. Bogardas, socialization is a process of working together and developing groups, responsibility, or being guided by the welfare needs of others. Ogburn describes socialization as a process by which an individual learns to conform the norms of the group. Lundberg says socialization consists of all the complex processes of interaction through which the individual learns the habits, beliefs, skills, standards of judgment that are necessary for the effective participation in social groups and simultaneously all the communities. According to H.T. Majumdar, socialization is the process whereby original nature of a being is transferred into a human nature and individual into a person. As per A.W. Green, socialization is the process by which the child acquires a cultural content along with selfhood and personality. Horton and Hunt describe socialization as the process by which one internalizes the norms of his groups so that a distinct self emerges unique to this individual. Worsley defines socialization as the process of transmission of culture, the process whereby men learn the rules and practices of the social groups. So here are the factors which influence socialization like religion, family, work, family business, culture, race, and ethnicity. So here is the types of socialization mentioned as per the sociologists according to their perceptions and research studies. So generally it is of 5 types, that is primary socialization, secondary socialization, developmental socialization, anticipatory socialization, re-socialization. Some of the sociologists have given the 6th form of socialization, that is known as adult socialization. Now let's talk about primary socialization. This type of socialization happens when the child learns the values, norms, and behaviors that should be displayed in order to live accordingly as a specific culture. For example, a child hears his father talk bad words against an old lady. This child would think that this behavior is appropriate and socially acceptable. So he would also start talking bad words against older or elderly people. This primary socialization occurs in the context of family where a child learns about the acceptable and expectable norms and values from interactions with their parents and other family members. The next is the secondary socialization. This type of socialization occurs when a person learns an appropriate behavior to be displayed within a smaller group which is still a part of a larger society. The changes within the values, attitudes, belief of an individual are seen to be less important than the changes made in him as he participates in the larger society, or you can say in the secondary group. For example, a high school graduate chooses a career in business management after participating in a small group, maybe a career seminar led by the college business majors. This secondary socialization occurs in the context of other groups, or you can say secondary group, such as social structures or social institutions outside the family context. For example, when a child attends the school and interact with their peers, friends, and teachers, secondary socialization happens. Social media is another example of secondary socialization where individuals interact with each other and are influenced by this media, especially movies, advertisements, and taught the norms, values, and behaviors accepted and expected with the context of this social media. But socialization that occurs in the context of this social media also influences individuals' behavior and actions when they interact with others outside the context of the social media. Now let's talk about the other type of socialization, that is developmental socialization. This type of socialization involves the learning process where the focus is specifically on developing the social skills of a human being or a child. For example, a shy senior high school student starts to teach English to a new fresher student in order to develop verbal communication. Next type of socialization is anticipatory socialization. This type of socialization refers to the process wherein a person practices or rehearses for future social relationship. The best example in our society of anticipatory socialization is for the girls, as they are groomed in their family in a way that they have to go to someone's other's house after the marriage. One more example is a child anticipates parenthood as he observes his parent perform their daily roles. Next type of socialization is re-socialization. This type of socialization involves rejecting previous behavior patterns and accepting the new ones so that the individual can shift from one part of his life to another. Re-socialization is said to be happening throughout the human cycle because man tries to adjust himself in the new culture so that he could be accepted and expected by the societal behavior. Now, the sixth type of socialization which a few scholars mention is the adult socialization. In the adult socialization, actors enter the roles. For example, for becoming an employee, a husband or wife, for which primary and secondary socialization may not have prepared them fully. Adult socialization teaches people to take on new role, responsibilities or duties. The aim of adult socialization is to bring the change in the views of an individual. Adult socialization is more likely to change overt behavior, whereas child socialization molds basic values. So here are some other types of socialization. Gender socialization. Gender socialization is learning the psychological and social characteristics associated with an individual's biological status. Next is the race or racial socialization. This process wherein individuals learn the behavior, values and attitudes associated with the racial groups. Class socialization. This teaches the norms, values, characteristics and behaviors you develop depending upon the social class you belong to. These are some important and main types of socialization that commonly occur in every society. Now, let's focus on the importance of socialization. Socialization is an important part of the process of personality development or personality formation in every individual. It is true that genetics is the reason behind the structure of human personality, but socialization is one that causes this personality to be molded to specific or a definite direction through the process of accepting or rejecting certain beliefs, attitudes, behavior or societal norms. Because of the dynamics in socialization, we tend to have different personalities although we are living in the same society. Socialization is an important part of the process of personality development or personality formation in every individual. It is true that genetics is the reason behind the structure of human personality, but socialization is one that causes this personality to be molded to specific direction through the process of accepting and rejecting beliefs, attitudes, and societal norms. Because of the dynamics in socialization, we tend to have different personalities although we are living in the same society. For example, Yanomamo Indians living on the borders area between Brazil and Venezuela tend to train the younger generation of boys to become aggressive and strong. On the other hand, the Semai tribe living on the central Malay Peninsula in Malaysia does not like violence and hostility. That is why the younger generation of boys are trained to become more gentle and peace lovers. So thank you everyone. Hope you have understood the concept, meaning, definition and importance of socialization along with its types. Thank you.